Hello and welcome in. It's been a while, but we're on our single player world, Rosethorn, today. I hope you like the new logo. Here it is. I really appreciate Happy Wheels 1 for making that logo for me. He did a really great job. If you're not familiar with this world, because it has been a while and I've gotten some new viewers since then, this is my single player world I have been working on for about 7 to 8 years. I don't know the actual exact date that I started this world, but it's been a while. It started out on Bedrock, or actually console edition on a PlayStation 3, and it has eventually moved its way all the way to Java 1.19.4. Trust me, there's a lot of jankiness going on with this world. Just look at previous episodes. Now, my goals for today are to clear up some of the jankiness that I have caused. Now, I love this storage area down here. I love the massive sugarcane farm that we have, even if it's not the most efficient design. And I love this tower. I spent so many hours building this tower with stone tools, but it is looking a little bit broken these days from world conversion, so we're gonna have to fix that at some point. And I've even left our old nether portal back here on the back wall. We've got to break all that obsidian at some point. However, the biggest defense is on top of this mountain here. Before, we needed some gunpowder and things so we could have unlimited rockets for our elytra here. And unfortunately, I just built a mob farm up on top of this mountain and left it in a weird looking box. So we're going to be doing a build today to hopefully make that look better, and we're actually going to be moving it to a completely different area. Let me show you. You may have seen this a minute ago, but we have this area over here. Back in the day, probably about 6 years ago, I was working on flattening this down to this level, and I was only using stone tools at the time, so it was really taking me a long time to clear this out. That's why it never got done. But we are in 2023. We have diamond tools at least. We really should get some netherite tools at some point, but we're getting there, and we do have efficiency 4, so it's not going to take long at all. Let's go ahead, flatten this, cover it with grass, make it look good, and get it ready for building. But first, we better take this guy out. He's actually about to kill me. Wow, 2.5 hearts. Guys, this area looks so much better already. It's not done yet, but we're getting there. Let's take a moment to appreciate this little bit of terraforming here. It looks so much better than just having sand and dirt going up to a grass hill. I just replaced some of the stone that I'll place down with some cobblestone and gravel. Makes it look a little bit more natural, a little bit more to look at there. And up on the hill here, this is where the mob farm is gonna go. I have centered it up. I just eyeballed it. It looks like a good location here. We're gonna build up the farm first, and then we're gonna make the build around it. Let's get a mob farm built. Look at that monstrosity. I promise I know what I'm doing. I know it looks like a whole lot of jank right now, but it really is coming together. Now, the other one was 7 to 8 layers. I can't remember the exact number, but I downsized this one just a little bit. This is only 5 layers. I've went ahead and put the water in, the collection system, all that. We do need to build the redstone at some point. I have all the supplies for that. And then the netherrack here, let me fly to this area. The netherrack here is just for templating it, so I know where parts of the builds are going to be. Now, I know I'm a Lightmatica user, but I promise I can build things on the fly sometimes. I'm going to try my best here. One sad part about it is, though, I definitely did not make this peninsula big enough, so we're going to have to do a little bit more terraforming. But yeah, the build's on its way. It's looking good so far. We just have to complete it and make it look really, really impressive looking. So let's get that time lapse rolling again. As always, I hope you've enjoyed that time lapse. I'm not really sure how many we've done this episode, but it's been quite a few. Now, it has been 3 hours since the last clip. I've been doing some constant building, and am I glad that we're almost done with this thing. We are completely out of spruce logs. The last of the spruce is in my inventory, so we were definitely running low on supplies there. But let me show you what I've done so far. Okay, we're back in our trusty boat here. And you can see everything I've done. I've textured the walls. I kept the tuff down at the bottom because it would stand to reason as the lighthouse settles, the bottom would kind of be cracked. And also I used a little bit of cracked stone brick spread throughout the entire walls just to make it look a little bit older. Up there, I didn't have a whole lot of ideas. And to be honest with you, where that window is breaks directly into the mob farm. I really should have made this lighthouse just a couple of blocks wider than it is, and I would have avoided a lot of trouble. So I had to improvise and just put some trapdoors instead of those lights there, and we'll talk about those in just a second. Out the back here, I did run into the same issue. I couldn't put lights there, but I think just that brace there looks fine. If I get tired of it, I may put some trapdoors there, but I think it looks great. I like the way this looks. Okay, and let's talk about these lights for just a second. Like I said, I didn't make the covering for the mob farm wide enough. I should have made this a couple blocks wider than I did. So these lights here are actually part of the mob farm wall. And obviously, I couldn't just replace the wall with these lamps because that would light up the farm. We don't want that. So what I had to do is add blocks to the inside here and put slabs on top of them so nothing could spawn there and stand there. But the problem we're going to run into are mobs are going to fall onto these and stay there. My hope is when more mobs fall down, they'll push the other ones off, and it won't be too much of a problem. That's my hope, at least. But we'll see. We may have to change this up if that's a serious, serious problem. Although it's looking really, really great so far. I'm really proud of this build. The only things we have left to do is finish the terraforming down at the bottom, widen that little peninsula a little bit, and then create an interesting fire up here, an interesting signal fire. I'm really excited for that. I've got a whole lot of ideas, so let's get cracking. I don't think I'm going to do a time lapse. I think I'm just going to keep you guys updated. So let me knock out this terraforming first of all. We are getting so close to being done. We have the terraforming done around the edge here. Just some quick stone, cobble, and a little bit of tuff to mix it in there, and it looks great. Also, I wanted to wait till nighttime to show you this, but we have a signal fire up here. Makes it look amazing. I had a lot of fun with this one. We used some magma blocks, campfires to make some smoke, just to make it look as bright as possible. Like I said, we're getting very close to being done. There's only a couple of things that we forgot about. The most important being the actual redstone that runs this. That is right, I completely forgot about the hopper time clock we need below us. Easiest way to get in here is just going to be to break in, of course. And there it is. That is where we need to put our hopper time clock. Let me go make sure I have the resources. There we go. It's a little bit dark in here now, but we have a working hopper time clock. So we've got the farm built. We have the hopper time clock in place, so it's flushing out automatically. We have this epic build complete with a signal fire. There's only one thing we lack, and that is the actual killing chamber and how we're actually going to be collecting this. Now, I want to use soul campfires, so let's go get some of those. There's the stuff we need. Okay, so for this killing chamber, first of all, this farm works because I had to fight off some mobs. But I'm just going to put a double chest down here to start out with. Connect up some hoppers. These will all be running into this chest here. And then we can place down these soul campfires. Now, if you're wondering why we use soul campfires, those actually do double damage to mobs. So it's going to make this farm just a little bit quicker than it would have been using regular campfires. So that's pretty cool. So for now, we're just going to have 3 double chests here. That's going to collect all the drops. That should be more than enough. So with everything being done, I can proudly say we are officially finished with the Lighthouse project here on Rosethorn. Now, with every completed build, there are always an abundance of new opportunities. In this case, we have this area here. Now, I think I'm going to leave this path a little bit plain. I think I'm going to rework it a little bit because I want to add a few more things around here. Because we have this very impressive looking lighthouse. We have that very basic looking tower over there. And this area here is just kind of a plain spot. There's nothing here. It needs to be filled out, so I think I'm going to build a few houses or something like that over here. We also need an iron farm and little things like that, so that's going to be a perfect balance. Being able to build those farms and having nice builds around them to fill out this area. So I am very excited for when we can start filling out this area in future episodes. I'm always looking for suggestions, so if you have an idea for a build or something that would look nice out in front here, please do leave it down in the comments. Before you think I forgot about it, I certainly did not. That over there, that peeking over the sugarcane farm, that needs to go. Let's go tear that old farm down. Well, this thing's a little bit bigger than I thought. Shouldn't be a problem, though. Notice anything different about this image? That's right, we got it taken down. Although we did accidentally leave the AFK platform up there. Let's go take care of that. Now that we have all that taken care of, I do want to go ahead and prepare for our next project. You see, somewhere in this direction, there is a village, and I believe it still has villagers there. I'm not sure when it was generated, but I would like to boat these guys all the way back over to the tower so we can eventually make them into an iron farm. There's that village. Well, nobody's home here. That's really interesting lighting. That shouldn't be that way. What happens if I... Oh, that fixed it. So the bad news is I have been walking around for a while, and I keep seeing where I blocked off doors, but there are no villagers inside. So I'm wondering if my memory just didn't serve me correctly, and I blocked these guys in before I did the Bedrock to Java world conversion, in which I lost all my entities, so they're probably not villagers here, unfortunately. However, we do have another villager area. Let's head over there. The only downside to this villager area that we're heading to is it's a little bit more dangerous to get to, and it's a much longer trip because we have to go through the nether, so we have to worry about getting them safely through the path, and then ultimately getting them back through the second portal, and then making sure they're okay on the other side. Now, this is our villager area here. This is a project that I mainly worked on stream. We're pretty set up over here. We have a lot of farmers for golden carrots. We have a couple of books that are fairly difficult to get from the enchanting table. Mending and Unbreaking 3. So I was looking around for the villager breeder because I remembered making one, but I just couldn't find it. It's actually over here in the floor, right in the middle. That's really convenient. So now I just need to find some crops, give it to them, and hopefully we can make a couple villagers. Well, look at that. I keep discovering things that I made that are very, very handy. I made a little micro farm. Well, I think they picked it up. I'm not sure what's happening now, though. There we go. only one was picking them up. They didn't seem to be sharing. So I think that means something like one of them didn't have a full inventory. I'm not that well versed on villagers, unfortunately. I think I heard it. Oh, yeah, look at that. We have one villager. I think I gave them enough food to make another one, but let me go be sure of that. So those guys definitely have enough to make another one. I'm going to go ahead and work on getting this little guy in a boat. Oh, don't run away from me. All right, we've successfully got one in a boat. I'm not quite sure why we're up here now, but we have it, and somehow we've got to get him all the way up to that portal. Alternatively, and I think this is probably a better plan, I have been wanting to make myself a proper nether hub where everything's on the same level. There are 4 cardinal directions. So I think in this episode, we're just going to get these guys in boats, have them over here prepared and ready. In next episode, we are going to build a flat nether tunnel. We probably won't decorate it or anything, but build a very handy nether tunnel straight over here. So as soon as we get these guys through the portal, we can boat them up and just send them straight on to spawn. It's a brand new Minecraft day. We have the first villager in a box, and I think these guys weren't breeding because it wasn't daytime exactly. So let's jump down here, see if they have another one. Oh, I see him. There we go. That seems like an uncomfortable spot to be in there with your head through the wall, but let's go ahead and get him. It's always a weird time getting villagers in these things. There we go. Very cool. This guy did not want to be aggravating. We didn't have to go chasing him around the whole entire world. We'll make sure he has a torch so mobs don't spawn, and we have a villager secured. And with that frustrating bit of content done, I think that is unfortunately all the time I have left for this video. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. The lighthouse build I am so proud of. I am so glad we got it done, and we have a working mob farm that looks great now. Like I said, next episode we're going to be working on an iron farm and a really interesting build to help that lighthouse not look so alone and out of the place. So it's going to be a fun one. I hope to see you there, and guys, have a great one.